Hey, hello, welcome to the Fool's Journey. I am Michael Zinn, and with me is the amazing Brian Lar. And you have just stumbled across something amazing. If that's how you got here, if you came here intentionally, you're ready, and you already know
Hey,
what's
I'm
about to happen.
I'm getting you like a 30-second delay on you. Like what you just said is now playing in my ear.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone's out there, hello, Julie, what's up? What's up, Lily? What are you guys? Are you guys seeing a delay in my?
I'm not seeing it. It's an audio.
Right, but you're seeing me talk and then you're hearing it later, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
I hear you when you actually talk, but it's like I hear an echo.
Oh, I don't know why. That's weird. So if you guys are watching, let me know if that's what you're hearing out there in public. It could just be because of, oh, you know what it is? I know what it is.
Hey,
Nope.
Rick, what's up, my brother?
Nope, it looks like we muted your phone. I'm not sure what that is, Brian. Is it all right? Could you maybe
It's
turn off?
absolutely driving me crazy.
Oh, it's driving me crazy. All right, hold on a second. Let me see. Cannot unmute your guests because they chose to mute themselves. It sounds good to Rob. Nope, no delay on this side. So it's something that you've got going on, Brian. Let's figure it out real quick. Hold on. Let me.
You want me to re-plug back in?
Yeah, why don't you log out on your computer and log back in?
I'll be right back.
Leave your phone hooked up. What's up, folks? It's just me for the moment. I'm super excited. Brian's got some amazing announcements happening tonight. This show is really cooking. There's a lot of people who are responding to it. There are some readers out there that Brian is connected with that are very interested. There's a well, I'm going to let Brian do the announcements. I almost just blew it. Oh my God. I can't believe I did that. And Brian is back. Hey there. How's it going now?
Like I'm hearing two shows at once. It's really
That's
just
so weird. Do you have it loaded up on your computer, like on a window?
I do.
That's what you're hearing. You're hearing turn that sound off on that one.
That's it. You're
Yeah.
the man.
There you go.
Okay.
So
Mercury retrograde again.
So that just means everybody else is hearing us 30 seconds later, but we're hearing each other in the now moment. So all good. So we've resolved the problem. Welcome to episode number 6 of the Fool's Journey. Brian, this is so amazing what we're doing here, what's happening.
It's kind of really surprising. I'm really just digging it in a big way, man. We got some, about 3 or 4 months ago, a woman bought the double deck thing for me and loved them a lot, and wound up buying them for a friend of hers who turned out to be a very long time YouTube reader named B Divine, Divine Miracles, and she and B Divine. I mean, I've like been B Lar my whole life, So there were just all these really strange synchronicities, and I got to go, and she did a deck reveal on her show with my deck, and
Wow.
It was just really cool. And I like her vibe a lot. She's really super knowledgeable, and she does a lot of things. Like she has a whole class on seeing your aura, a bunch of different things that I'm really interested in. I think you guys would be as well. And she has also had a really, really intense, you can check this out on her website, and I'll bring it up more when she's on the show. But she had a really intense, very abusive childhood that would have crushed, just about everybody I know. And she's been able to, with her energy and her positive thinking, kind of really turn that around. And she's got a really nice, wonderful wife and husband, and is putting amazing work out into the world that really benefits people. So I'm super excited about having her here, and hopefully, like Car, she'll be hanging out, and I want to get Car here. Hopefully, I'm going to harass her into next week and talking about the lovers with us, and
awesome.
and I've been throwing out the the hooks to people for the Halloween show. I've gotten invited to and included in the goddess gathering on the full moon here. So hopefully I'm going to be making some friends there, and maybe get some cohorts in crime into that.
I have no doubts. I have no doubt you'll be making some friends. Neil's out there. What's up, Neil? Good
Neil,
to see you.
what up, man?
Awesome. And your cousin Nancy's out there. Gotta love technology.
Good. Excellent. So, I thought tonight we could talk. You and I had like a kind of really super intense magical moment last week, and I wanted to kind of just review that and share that with people, if you don't mind. And then one of the most, people are always asking about the thing they want, and how what's the thing I should be asking for, but hardly anybody ever talks about how to actually ask the question, and how to craft the question to get the most information, the most accurate information, and how to get there. So I thought we'd spend some time hanging on that too.
Awesome.
Tonight we're going to talk about the Emperor, large and in charge, the boss dog. Yes. So, that's a really cool card. We'll be going through all of his attributes and what's up with him. And then, and then who knows at the end. We'll also use this Emperor. We're going to show you how to use that rod spinning thing we did a couple weeks ago, and we're going to charge up the card and send out an intention for everybody listening. So hang around to the end. We'll have some fun. Unless I can't do it, in which case I'll be really embarrassed.
Jilly loves car. She's asking more car.
Yes, I know. Jilly.
Anyway, awesome. She also loves the image. She says it's a fantastic card image. I wish we could bring them up like all full screen, high resolution, and let people see them. But really, the true beauty is holding it in your hand. I mean, and I'm not just trying to sell cards for you, Brian. It's when you're holding these things, they are freaking magical.
They have some magic in them.
There's no doubt. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I was looking through them before and just going, wow, I just really love them. Just like how few things in your life you actually get to see to fruition to the point that these were for me. I'm just beyond grateful that they exist.
And we are too.
So how's your magical fool's journey going?
It's going great. I'm certainly
stretched so thin. It's like
I'm stretched thin, but you know what? It's really, life is happening for me, not to me, right? And I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm learning a lot about the universe and my connection to it. I've been kind of like not campaigning, but for the last 5 or 10 years, I've been meeting such incredible people who all have unique modalities and absolutely undeniable connections to source in their own way. And some of them are psychic mediums, some of them are tarot readers, some are Akashic Records readers, some are musicians. They just all are connected. And I always say, well, I've never really connected the way they do. I have my own thing, which is of course true, but I guess specifically with like what other people would call gifts, like talking to spirit and thing. I always say I haven't experienced that, and I'm starting to realize that I probably just haven't recognized it,
or really tried to do it,
or really puts. I know for sure I haven't put intention into it.
And I have a perfect example which will show you that you are not entirely correct in that perception.
Okay.
You're a very magical person, and there's magic happening to you all over the place. You and I just had a really intense magical experience last week, and I wanted to share that with everybody. Normally these like the experience I described to you, that happened to me by myself. There wasn't anybody with me. There weren't any witnesses. So it's just a story. In this particular case, you and I experienced it together, so really totally awesome.
I think I know what you're talking about, because
you'll be there momentarily. So I had been thinking and discussing with someone else about how I got into magic and how I really started studying, because I've been into it for a long time, crystals and numerology and stuff. But how did it actually go from something I just kind of like did and know with to a real passion and focus of what I wanted to do with the rest of my life?
Mm-hmm.
And I was about 30 years old. And actually, this came up. We were talking about Lori Ladd's book and how that book had energy and connection. And I asked you a question on whether it was about the information in there or that the actual book felt like it had juice, entity, and as an example of something that happened to me, I was talking to you about stopping by this used bookstore. This is like 30 years ago. I'm in advertising, driving back on my way to the office in a hurry. And I get to the stoplight at my favorite used bookstore, and my car went and turned into the used bookstore. I'm like, okay, man, book note. Here we go. We'll do a quick run. So I've always been fascinated with horror stuff, man. I grew up on Creepy Magazine and all those things. And the creepier, the better, scary stuff always like really kind of thrilled me. So, of course, I had read all of H.P. Lovecraft's stuff and the Dunwich horror stuff. And one of the things, running things out of that, was a magical tome done by this guy named Abdullah Hazard, the Mad Arab. And it was this magical, like, grimoire of, like, the most intense magic that would open up the world to all these other things. It's since been made into movies and stuff called the Necronomicon, right? Mm-hmm. So I always thought it was just sort of fictional. It was, a Lovecraft construction, which in fact it really was. But I go into the book nook and I'm looking up on the shelf, and there are black leather bound silver thing, Necronomicon. I'm like, what? Okay, cool. So I pulled that thing off of there and I opened it up and I'm looking through it, and to the point before, it felt like that. Before I opened it, scoped anything, it felt like, ooh, I felt like my feet had been plugged into an electrical socket. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So I opened it up and there's all these pencil notes all through it. So somebody had actually used it, which just like jacked it up even farther for me. Man, it's like, oh man, this is really real. And I didn't have the cash to get it that day. I had to go out of town on a shoot of 2 weeks. Whole time I'm gone, that's all I thought about. On the way back to the airport before I went home, stopped by the book nook to get the thing. Guy's face kind of had a strange look, and he goes, dude, about 15 minutes ago, somebody came in and just bought that book. I'm like, damn, man, are you kidding? So a couple weeks go by, I have the same nudge, go in. Hey, the guy looks up at me and he goes, wow, that's sort of weird. And he gets this weird look in his face. He goes, about 15 minutes ago, somebody just brought this book back. And it was that exact book. So I scarfed it up immediately. It was way intense. And man, I just had this feeling like a destiny kind of feeling. And as it turned out, the Necronomicon itself has a really great story we'll talk about sometime. But, the magical child on 19th Street in New York, man, that's where that whole thing was born from. And the greatest thing about it is that Working Wizards actually put that together. And the bibliography in there is a list of every tome that you should have if you're going to study seriously and get a feeling for what to do, And back then, there wasn't any internet. There wasn't any way to connect, unless you were part of a society or, what you had to go find pieces of information to dig into. And for me, those were books, So I get through with this whole story, what a magical thing that whole thing was. And the next day, I'm looking at the screen. Yeah, go ahead, man.
I wish I knew you were going to tell the story, because I would. You know what? Maybe I can hold it up. So I'm. This story is amazing. Obviously, you just heard an amazing story, and I am driving to work, and yep, there it is.
Oh no, are you kidding? I've never seen a license plate that says The
I'm
Necronomicon.
right behind a
Never,
car that has a license plate
never.
that says Necronomicon.
The very
No
next morning. The very
freaking
next morning.
shit. I was just like, this is crazy. And I took a picture and I sent it to Brian, and he was just like, woohoo! He
You
just
know
like,
it's real, man. That's
you
when you
know,
know it's real. And we both got a gift because that was sort of like a reaffirmation for me.
yeah,
And as many divergent things as you hear, I know you're really open to all of them, and
mhm,
you're
mhm,
receptive to seeing what all of
mhm,
those have. But
mhm.
also, you're a grown man with street smarts, and there's a part of you that like goes, until that becomes experience for me, that's a possibility, and
Right.
knowledge, but not
Mhm.
necessarily like hard wisdom, you
Right.
know. So
Totally.
in this instance, it was the universe reaching out to go, bang, hey Michael, it's real, bro.
Which actually is very funny, because I told you I was having an intense discussion with Jill before this, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what it was about. I had a crazy experience in meditation on Sunday, where I was just meditating, and it was kind of the normal, I was like, okay, I was there, but I was still there, still ground, to the 3D. And I said, you know what, let me let me try to focus on the collective consciousness that's in the room, because it was a group meditation. And the minute I conjured up that thought, I visualized white light beams coming from everybody's head in kind of a cone and going to this one center one. And I was still kind of like, okay, I'm visualizing that, but I'm still sitting here. And then I wasn't sitting there anymore. And I was up against a window, and I was looking at the other side, and there was all of these faces and all of these beings just going, come on, come on, what are you waiting for? Just believe, just believe. And that was the message I got in my meditation, not even connecting it to the story that you just told just now, and the conversation that I had with Jill. So I think I believe.
The true answer for me, and this is for art. Well, I consider magic part of my art, me as an artist. But like those things didn't. I didn't choose them. They chose me.
Right.
And so seriously happy
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
All
So
right.
I just want to put this up, because this is important too, and this is part of the conversation I was having with Jill, related to the Necronomicon and Lori Ladd's book, Having a Consciousness. And we've talked about this too. Jilly says your cards have it too. And
Thanks, Shelley.
that's the absolute truth. I mean, this is something that Jilly and I were just talking about, and that is becoming more and more obvious in my head, is that all of the things that we create, especially as people, like, people who vibrate a little higher and have a connection to the intention of what they're doing,
That's it right there. It's the intention that goes
is
into it.
creating consciousness, and that consciousness then goes on in the form of these cards that end up in B Divine's hands, and that consciousness is now interacting with her, and she's able
Exactly.
to, it's just phenomenal
It's
what's going on.
beautiful.
It's
It's
beautiful.
like there's this whole group of people in Vienna, my friend Raphael, and he and I have done about 50, 60 shows that are on a German network called Okie Talk over there. We'll get that hooked up too, man, because he's a
Awesome.
really brilliant guy. And see, that's kind of where it really took root first.
Yeah.
Raphael, and then Raphael's friends, and then Raphael's friends, and what was really super cool was they all like carded when she got her cards, man. She sent me an email going, "What is up with these, man?
Wow.
There's some what's up with
Brian,
these."
that's what I told you when we started the show, was like, I feel like so happy that I have an opportunity, because I feel like this is going to help show the world, the power of what you've created there. Neil says his cards are starting to manifest for him, not just giving him a forecast. That's awesome.
Good,
So good.
my brother. Neil's one of my hardest cases, but I have faith in Neil being one of my best successes.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
He's awesome.
Yeah, Neil's very cool. Neil is came over from the live stream of consciousness. I remember when he first started chiming in, and I was like happy to meet him, and we spoke a couple times outside of this
Neil
space.
and the family came down to my old abode down in Coconut Grove and had a big family reading. That was awesome.
That's awesome. Wow. So you guys are local to each other?
No, they were going on a trip to Florida and decided to hook it up.
That's what more can I say?
That's
Like, look at what happened from this show. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible. All right, so let's talk about asking questions.
Okay.
You know, first of all, don't ever use your cards to do a yes or no answer. You know, you don't want to that narrow. What your goal is here with the tarot, especially, is to get as much factual information and inside scoopage as you can. So you want that field to be as wide as possible and not so narrow. And what I usually do with my readings is I start with the wide scope and start narrowing down and asking again, doing more polls and being more and more and more specific until you're right there. You know? So you want to be phrasing your questions in terms of, like, if you're worried or thinking about getting a new job and you have a job offer and you're going to ask, hey, am I going to take that job or not? You know, probably not the best way to do it. Right. That kind of puts it in a yes or no sort of scenario.
Right.
What, you know, you could phrase it a number of different ways, one of which being, what is the outcome of me taking that job? You know, what is the likely way that will manifest if I accept that? And that way you're leaving that open for lots of information.
More information. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So asking your questions, this especially gets really important when you're doing sigilling and how you can construct your initial intent statement. And this would apply to that in a really similar fashion. And you want to be like as bullet specific and as simple, you know, keep it less is always more, you know, not compound sentences, single sentences, you know. If it needs to be, if it's so complex, we're talking sigils here now. If it needs to be so complex that it's several sentences, you need to do several sigils and glue them all together and make a construct.
Oh, wow.
Which we'll get into later. Yeah.
Cool.
Any questions on the question?
Jill just made a comment about asking questions and said open-ended questions. Not like yes and no, like, you know. Like more, like you were saying, more wide.
Yeah, like the issue is, I use that a lot. The issue is the new job. You know, the issue is this show that's coming up. You know, the issue is what's coming up with the show tonight. You know, which I asked.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. And I got the magus of the body, which is the immediate past, which is correct. I got the 5 of Pentacles, which is financial destitution, which at the moment, absolutely correct. And the 3 of Cups, which is the celebration after the feast and the party for goodness. So, yeah, kind of crazy. So,
very cool.
Let's talk about.
We do have a question. Rick is saying, do you have? Why is that not staying up? Do you have to ask a question, or just pull a card to see what the universe wants to tell me?
You don't have to do well. I start the day with, what do I need to know today? You know, and I just do a single or a triple pull just to get the day started. So yeah, use both.
So that's kind of like what do I need to know is kind of like no question, open-ended.
That's exactly right.
Give me a card and let the card tell me what it wants to tell me.
Well, if it's best to, like, I do that if I'm going to do an open-ended scenario. I do an open-ended scenario with kind of a tight time frame, or else it could be open-ended, open time. You know, that you might get that answer 10 years from now, which not now will be all that helpful. So, if you're saying, you know, what do I need to know today? You know, pretty much that's what you need to focus on today.
Right.
All right. Well, let's see. the Emperor. This is actually the 5th card in, if you count the Fool, but this is really the 4th card. And this is we've talked about this before, and this will become more and more apparent why this is important. But this is the last element in the 4 elemental chunks that happen. Okay, so we had the Magus, which is air. We had the Priestess, which is water. We had the Empress, which is earth, and now we have the Emperor, which is fire. The Emperor is a badass, man. The Emperor's the big cheese in charge. It's the card that represents authority and the ability to say yes or no and push what your desire is ahead, or slam the door and say no. So the thing to know about the Emperor is he is very fiery, man. His the planet that rules him is Mars, and in the sign of Aries, which is, I mean, that is the ultimate. Well, Aries is the god of war as well as Mars, and Mars is about fiery, intense war energy. So depending on the other cards that are around this card in a reading, this guy could represent severe conflict. In fact, on the card it says war and conflict, right. But it could be either like a despot, a tyrant, somebody that's like, you know, out for conquest and control and domination. Or if the cards are really good, you know, preceding it and after it, that could be a really just ruler that is looking out for people and looking to make things happen. So how this card really manifests is largely reflected by the cards that happen around it. If you're just doing a single card of the day and you pull this card, you'd be looking for some pretty fiery energy. You'd need to kind of look at your own energy and curb your a quick temper or the penchant for getting pissed off like really fast, because that's one of the things about Aries and Mars both. They have this fiery kind of like, let's fight kind of energy. So you would need to curb that in yourself, and you would also need to really be aware of the people that you're around and conducting yourself in kind of a serious interaction with. That would be a possibility, not only coming from you but from them as well, and add a little extra layer of patience to that scenario. You know.
Right. You know what's important? What you're saying there, I think sometimes is the perception of this of the message and the understanding of being open to, hey, it may not be coming from this side, it may be coming from the other side, you know, and just kind of just being able to interpret that message, I guess, like that becomes more and more intuitive. I don't know if we ever discussed, maybe we have a little with the Empress card or the Priestess card about the femininity in the image specifically. I'm imagining that the images, as you were making this deck, you know, going through your images, that they kind of spoke to you and told you who they were.
Exactly. Yeah.
And with this one, I'm seeing just visually, I know this is like what do you see in the cloud kind of thing, but I see a very strong image of like a Chinese New Year dragon here breathing out fire. That's what I see. I see a face back here. Is the Chinese dragon head, and this is all the fire coming out. But that's, you know, that's
for me, that
what
shape
I'm seeing now
at the very top is a crown, and that little thing in the center is the kind of like the little thing on the top of that. And look, if you look in between there, they're kind of like 2 eyes right there.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, right here. Yep.
So this card is a very masculine card. Yeah. This card and the and the Magus card are kind of like 2 halves. Like the Magus is the magical masculinity, and this is kind of like the world masculinity. The priestess is like the magical femininity and receptivity, and the empress is the world, and then the empress and the emperor go together, like the priestess and the magus go together. So you've got this whole little foursome going on here, man. I'd like to be at their house on a Saturday night. That's crazy.
and I totally, and now that you said that, I see that image as well. I can see very clearly a face with a crown as the emperor there, and that's what's so magical about these cards, is because I can now shift between those two. I can actually see them at the same time, and that's like a quantum experience.
And you keep adding. That's the thing that drives me crazy. That just makes me, how could that happen? Is because, like, I saw the dragon too, and the, you know, like the light things, the little things at the end of that weird little crown. If you look at those closely, they look like little pipes. You know, and it's like, as you take it and you bring a different emotional content to it every time you see it, like I have a whole box full of things I see in those, and they have layers to them too that just draw me into particular sections of them, depending on who I'm reading for and where I'm at the time too.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, and that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, you know, next time I look at it, I'll probably tell you something different. So we have a few comments and questions. Nancy is saying, I did a 3-card pull today. I got Adjustment Trumps, Princess of Cups, and then the 7 of Discs. I'm imagining she's kind of looking for your feedback on that.
Okay. Adjustment is really, that's Libra, and that is really about finding balance and finding a place where all of the energies kind of like come together. It's always a balancing act. On some of the cards, it's like justice holding the scales, but that's what that's about. And then the Princess of Cups, it's kind of like the woman that's a younger woman that's like, or a younger point of view, where you're just kind of looking at life in a new way and seeing things for the first time, and getting out and experiencing things. And she's a really kind of happy-go-lucky kind of girl. You know, the cups are always about emotions and feelings. So, you know, she's an emotional and energetic young woman. And then the 7 of Discs. I know this card really well because this is the card that goes with my destiny number in numerology. And in a lot of systems, the 7 of Discs is considered, is called failure, because it usually talks about having goals that you try and you get them along, and for whatever reason, it fails, it peters out. But instead of giving up and bagging it, you examine that situation, you learn from it, you garner your energy, you come back again, you try again, you might fail again. But the key to this card is to never fucking give up and relent and say, oh, it beat me. That's what that card is wanting to do, which is kind of fucked up. I've been really pissed off about that throughout my life. Like, no, man, no. Okay, all right. Those kind of like crapped out. Now I need a time for this to score. And you know, you just can't ever give up. You can't ever believe that you're done and it's over and you can't get through it, you know?
Right.
And the good part about that card, the fantastic part about that card, is if you buck up and you get your stuff and you learn and really perfect your craft, the rewards at the end of that are ginormous. So I'm sticking with it.
That's good. That's great. Nancy says retirement is fast approaching.
There you go.
There you go. And Jilly is, excuse me, Jilly is asking to explain the colored borders around the card.
Yes, those. I read with the Toth deck for a very, very long time, and I also was involved in the Golden Dawn for a very long time. And
what is that for anyone who?
The Golden Dawn is actually one of the most well-known magical societies. It started around like the middle of the 1800s, and lots of the people that people know about and are still quoting today kind of came from that discipline and that time.
Cool.
And Aleister Crowley, who designed the top deck, was part of that for a while, and they sort of had a splitting at a fight. He went to war with the head of the Golden Dawn, McGregor Mathers, and that's a whole story I'll tell you sometime. It's really pretty cool. So anyway, each of the cards, each of those colors represents a different scale. Like the color at the top is the king scale, and the color at the right is the queen scale. At the bottom is the prince scale, and at the left is the king's or the page scale or knight scale. I'm sorry, I've lost track there. But it's a 4 court cards, and each one of those has a whole list of colors that relate to that. So through the 22 major arcana, I did the color that out of each of the scales that was appropriate to this card. It's kind of insane, I know.
Cool. Yeah, that's what makes these cards so powerful is really the intent that went into the creation of these.
I actually have some super exciting news.
Oh,
I got accepted finally into the Facebook group that Paul Hughes Barlow at Super Tarot is part of.
Okay.
And yeah, I got to get in there. I've been making friends with Paul. I asked him if he'd be on the show. He'd be delighted to be on the show.
Awesome.
So anyway, that I've been loading my stuff up on that site, which is really specifically about top deck purists. And everybody's like, I mean, that's kind of a whole weird society in and of
But that's
itself.
great. You're finding it being accepted.
And I've been loading some stuff up. I loaded up the 10 of Pentacles, and they're all crazy. Somebody was like, well, why'd you make them spheres instead of disc? I said, well, if you take the disc and spin it on edge, it's a sphere.
Wow.
And then it's in motion, which is everything I'm about.
Amazing,
then it's energetic and not a coin sitting on the surface.
Brian, I can't tell you how happy I am for you for that. That's just such an amazing thing. I love it.
Well, that should be really cool, and I'm hoping to get some more people that are really, really super knowledgeable from there to come on. And I'm excited about the information to be able to share it. I mean, this is crazy.
The funny thing is, everything you're saying, I totally get, and I agree with, like getting these people to come on your show and so that you can share them. But for me, it's sharing you with them.
Well, thanks.
I'm so excited that they are finally getting to see who you are, and they're just like, wait a second, who's this guy?
It's taken a long time, man.
Hey, listen, it's all good.
10 years, man. 10 years. Yeah.
Seeds don't grow overnight. You got to plant them and let them germinate.
Seeds might, but no trees do.
That's right. Awesome. So good. Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how that impacts this show and you and me and the world.
So somebody pull some cards out there. Rick, pull a card.
Oh, looking for some pullers.
Rick's artwork is amazing, by the way. He does this thing where he does whole images where the image, it's just different. It's a collage, and he uses all these patterned papers, and he selects the patterns like super perfectly. And
let's see. Is he on Facebook? Is he on Instagram?
He's got a website, rickmidler.com.
rickmidler.com. See, that's the great thing about this show. It's like I'm on the internet right now, and I can just do what I want. And I am going to. Wow! Oh my God! Jill is going to flip out.
Yeah,
I
Rick's work is amazing.
Jill does some similar work with fabrics, and she is just going to love this. Hold on, let me stop this screen that we got, and let me share a new screen. Share screen, window. Oh, wow. Awesome. Look at this. This is just flowing. This is what's supposed to happen. So here we go. We're on
right?
Midler's website.
There you go.
And look at this.
He ripped them all off, man. It's just so beautiful.
Look at that. Oh my
We've
God.
watched
Jill,
each other grow like over a number of decades now, and it's just so
oh my God.
so celebrate his stuff.
I'm
man.
seeing a reflection of Jill in this artwork. I don't look. Jill's like, oh yeah, Jill. This is just, oh my God. This is wow. Phenomenal. Holy freaking crap. Oh, we've got to have this guy on the show.
Yeah, we will.
Rick, this is beautiful work. He is here. I forget we're talking about him. He's right here. Rick, this is phenomenal. I am so glad that you mentioned this, Brian, and that we got to take a quick look at it. We will definitely revisit that because you told people to pull cards and they did. So let's get back to that. Rick said, I cleansed and blessed my deck. Candlelight sage, my stones and wands, wander with them under the night sky. Oh, excellent. Shuffled and I drew the Knight of Cups, then the Three of Wands.
Three of Wands. Okay. Well, so the Knight of Cups, kind of like that was the undercut card. You know, that was that's just sort of the precursor for what was to come. And the Three of Wands is a great card, man. It's like someone that's come into his own and is kind of like standing above on the cliffside, watching the ships come in, and it's a really grand and glorious card. And nice. I hope that is exactly your experience with the deck. And dude, we've talked about these for so long. I can't believe that we're actually getting to go on the journey together. Awesome. We'll see where they go, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
What time is it? What time is it, Michael?
We got 18 minutes. We're still cooking. We're
okay.
Good.
No, I want to leave enough time to charge the card.
Okay. I just want to go. Jill, looks like Jill pulled herself some cards too. So I just
for sure. Oh yeah, the Moon, the Two of Cups, and the Six of Discs. Wow, that's really pretty. Okay, so you know the Moon. The crazy thing about the Moon is the Moon can be really cool and beautiful and dreamy and mysterious and fantasies and pretty stuff, but it also can be dementia and craziness and like kind of really fucked up stuff. However, what's next to that is the Two of Cups, which is the love card. That's like you know, the Ace of Cups is like that initial spark when people kind of like start to connect, and that could be love or business or any relationship. And then the Two of Cups is when you're in that full blown like, woo, I don't want to be away from you, man. I gotta soak up your juice, man, because I'm addicted. And that's the Two of Cups, which is awesome. And then the Six of Discs, which is in a single word, success. So everything about that, and actually,
that's a good word.
In the Fool's Journey story, the Six of Discs is where somebody comes up and just offers you some cash and says, "Hey, man, I've got an overflow. How about some? You want some?" That's
awesome.
Yeah,
I got to meet that guy. I got to meet.
You know, I look for him frequently.
So Rick is saying yes. I feel that. To his reading, and he says saying thank you. Jill is saying I love it, Rick. Jill loves Rick's artwork. I knew he did. She's saying also Japanese-ish. I could see a little Japanese influence in that. Yeah. Neil is saying impressive. So also I'm imagining about Rick's work. Awesome. So cool.
Hey Neil, did you start your Black Mirror? Yeah, Neil, talking to you. Did you start your Black Mirror?
So Neil, the show Black Mirror? No, you're talking about making something.
This is something I asked Neil to do for himself.
Nice.
Let's see, Knight of Wands and the Chariot. Yeah, well, that's all about success, man. The Chariot is so totally about like singularly minded, focused, driving towards a goal with the relentless passion until that goal is completed. It's like the unrelenting quest of the quest knights for the Holy Grail.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Welcome and in a word, the Chariot's victory. So there you go.
Nice. I don't.
What are you waiting for, Neil?
So Neil, he's saying if not yet. And then Jilly is, of course, flying and happy about her little reading. So it seems like you're doing good. You're the cards are definitely proving themselves.
Well, honestly, see, this is why I didn't get rich being a reader, because when the cards actually suck, I tell you that too. And so far, so good. And what all that goes to show is that the people that are showing up to this and getting part of this, there's a frequency going out and bringing those souls here. Super psyched. Super psyched. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for being here and contributing your energy to this fool's journey. I think if it was just me and Brian, it would probably still be good, but it's even better having you guys along.
So on the fool's journey, the fool shows up. He meets the Magus. The Magus turns him on to all of his abilities and gives him all these cool tricks, effects, things he can do. He meets the priestess, and the priestess gives him a way to figure out what to do with all of that new stuff. And then he meets the priestess, and the priestess, or the empress, and the empress gives him a place to actually go to work to make those things actually real. And then he meets the emperor, who's the guy that can say, yes, go. So
wow.
There we are so far on the fool's
journey.
That's
where we're at in the fool's journey. That's awesome. What a great story so far. I'm excited.
It really is a good story.
It's
really
great. I love it. I love
what a great way to initiate yourself,
Yeah.
Totally.
Awesome.
All right.
So what kind of special stuff do you have for us today?
Well, a couple weeks ago we did an effect, charging up, gathering energy, which I would love to do tonight. And then, we did an effect where I was spinning this rod around in a circle on a little lens.
Amazing.
And that was all cool in and of itself. But tonight I'd like to kind of take that a step farther and how can you start actually using that effect to help you in the rest of your practice. So the cards are cool, and they're not only information, but they're also kind of like an open door into doing an effect as well. So we are going to take this Emperor card and we are going to charge it with the intent for the whoever is in charge of opening doors for everyone listening opens them.
Should I pull out my Emperor card?
If you'd like.
Yeah, if I can charge it with you, I'd love to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But also, I want to make sure that you are connected to this. I'm not sure. This is an experiment, by the way.
Okay.
I haven't tried to do this with a group of people on a podcast before, but okay. I'm feeling kind of sparky tonight. So
yeah. Well, I hope some of the people out there are feeling sparkable.
And I want everybody out there to participate in this too. When we get it spinning, I want you to be thinking about. Just kind of in your mind, just open the doors. All my doors are open. All my doors are open. All my doors are open. There you go.
All righty. I've got it.
All right. So let's do a little quick charge up first. All right. And, I like to bring it up from down near the center of the earth where all the blue electromagnetic charge is, right where the magma is spinning against the solid rock.
Should I be standing up? I mean,
I like to, because I like to bring that energy up through my feet and bring it right up into my solar plexus, man. I like to give it the straight channel. So, just reach down. There is no distance on the astral. There is no distance for the energy. And just go down, into the pure, where it's that blue, crackly blue electromagnetic energy, and just start drawing that up through your feet into your solar plexus. And you can use your breath as kind of a mnemonic to just keep with each breath, you're just pulling and you're connecting, and you just feel it. Oh my God, coming up through your feet. And you want to just keep bringing it into your solar plexus. Oh, there we go. Just fill yourself up. like a reverse fire hose. Whew. So when you do this for yourself, do that as long as that takes for you to get really jacked up. And where you're just crackly, man, we're just standing there, you're just, woo, just crackly, right?
Yeah.
You always want to make sure that your lens is clean and cool. Oh, and by the way, you know, for those of you that don't have an enlarger lens to use, you can use a magnifying glass lens and put that on the top of a cup or glass of some kind. And that's a perfect little spin area, man. That works really great. Encourage you to try, do it. Don't just try it, do it.
All right, this part I'm going to watch. I don't think I have anything like that right now. So
no, you don't need to do that right now.
Yeah,
that's for later.
Okay.
Right now, where I'd like your attention and everyone else's attention is right here. Okay.
Hold on.
So we're filling up the card, and we're going to put that underneath the lens. Woohoo. Okay, now this technique not only works for this, but this also works great when you're charging up sigils. And you could put that, you do a little plate with your sugar sigil in it, and you could sit that lens right on top of that and blast away. Works really super great. And that is a really great way to charge up your sigil as well. Now, how many times do you need to go around? Well, it's about 8 times. And the energy that it takes to spin that thing around 8 times is going into that card. And that's the amount of energy it usually takes to make something actually happen and manifest. Now, if you can get more and want to do more, that's all good too, you know? So I'm going to take my headphones off for just a second, and we'll give this thing a blast. I'm going to do the 8, and we'll see how far we get.
Infinity is thanking you for the tip. And then J-Lo is saying hello.
You know, when you get it started, starting out on the ends and focusing, oh shit, right on the very tip of that is a really good place to start, because that's where it's most unbalanced. But where you get the most torque and the most energy is right here in the middle.
Wow.
So I'm doing a combination of pushing, releasing,
Wow.
grabbing, and pulling. Wow, you can kind of really see it torque up.
Yeah, that's...
So we'll get it. I think that somebody help me count. I think that's 3.
Wow. I saw that push. That was great.
I think that's 4.
Oh, wow. Brian. That's amazing.
That's 5. Oh!
Ah. Amazing. Amazing. Neil says amazing. Jilly says center of effort.
Well, here.
That's amazing. Oh, I'm so excited to be broadcasting this.
The 6-foot copper pipe.
Wow.
The 6-foot. Oh boy. All right.
All right, folks, this is it.
That's a little hard to get it started.
Oh, Brian! Wow.
Oh, don't fall. Come on, come on. There you go. There you go. I love you. I don't know if it's me.
No, man, that's amazing. Holy crap. Jill says, go big, LOL. We are going big right now. This is
okay. We got to have one, at least one really good full turn with the copper rod, and then we'll be good.
Wow. Oh.
Rick's seen this in the backyard.
Oh my God. That was a big, that was.
There we go. Okay, baby.
Well, I don't think Brian, can you hear us now, Brian, or no? No, I don't think he can hear us.
Oh, nice. All right.
He's doing his thing. Look at this, folks. This is
nice and clean. Nice
magic.
and clean.
You guys are watching
nice
actual ancient magic right now. This is
wow, good too. We got it nice and smooth. I won't try to push it faster. Come on. Here we go. I think that's 3 with the copper pipe.
Yeah.
We're going to let it go until it comes off.
Somebody's got to say something. Somebody's got to be as amazed as I am.
Yeah, there we go.
Look at this. This is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. Once you get some momentum going, it's not too bad. Now the thing is like not get it going too fast so it falls off the freaking lens. I think we're working on 5 right now.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go. Awesome. 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 Awesome.
That was amazing. Oh my God. Phenomenal. Is he coming back?
Yep, I'll be right back. Woo!
Awesome. Oh my God. Guys, that is, look at me. I'm beaming. That is amazing. Wow. Phenomenal, Brian. Awesome.
I feel like Beavis and Butthead. Oh man, I mean, it just makes you feel like 10 times bigger than yourself. Crazy.
It's amazing. It's amazing to see, and that was a great demonstration. I feel like that there was no denying that the rod was just still, and you made it move, and
well, the copper one. Getting that started at the beginning of that, I was kind of like,
yeah.
I pushed on it, didn't go anywhere. I was like, man, all right.
Incredible energy. J-Lo, I got here a bit late. Could Venus be here live? And Celestial Infinity is saying, wow, I got to start practicing. So you're inspired.
Yeah. That's the whole point. Yes, please.
So how do you feel after using that much energy? And
I feel like if you took every drug, food, pleasure, sex, all of it and wrapped it all into one big ball, man, it doesn't even remotely compare. And dude, this is a really pretty relatively simple effect.
Yeah.
And I was able to easily do this with my own energy well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're doing really big effects like dematerializing or crazy stuff, that takes so much juice that you develop the ability to draw, bring it in through yourself. Like you do that charge up thing so you were full, but then you just become the way station for it passing through you and going out. Mm-hmm. So that you don't ever really, you just get the goodness from it. You don't drain yourself. You're not like trying to, use your whole battery. You never really have to use your own energy because there's an infinite energy supply all around us at all times.
Right.
That alone makes you feel amazing. And dude, like feeling that course through you, I mean, it wakes every part of you up.
I can only imagine that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I just lost myself. There I am. I got too many windows open. So, That's amazing. We got a quick question from Rick regarding the musical sequence at the top of the card. I know we talked about that last week, but remind us about these musical sequences. He's asking if you
I
can
can't play that right at the moment, but if you go to my YouTube channel, Wizard of Odd, I did 22 songs for the Major Arcana that based off of each of these. And next week I'll have the music station set up so we could play a few of these and maybe make something out of the
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's cool. There's so many cool things that we can still do on this show that we probably haven't even thought of.
Oh, dude, we're just getting started. Are you kidding? Man, we're just scratching the surface, man.
Amazing.
We're just getting the good stuff, the stuff put together to be able to do the good stuff, man.
Yeah. Well, we're just getting started, but we've already spent an hour. So
there you go.
We've whipped through another amazing episode of The Fool's Journey.
Hey, I need to answer a question before we do that.
Okay.
Celestial infinity, is the energy only through the solar plexus or through the heart center also? It's through every center. It just depends on what you're trying to do. You know, you use all your chakras, and the reality is, and we'll have this conversation, your chakras, as I'm sure you know, are just like that's 7 main energy centers, but you have thousands of chakras all over you. So that's the whole basis of acupuncture and like the Jin-Jitsu things I was talking about, where they're using energy flow.
Right.
Yeah.
Chi, is that related to chi or?
Yes, totally. Yeah. So you know, I was doing when you're doing a projective effect where you're moving something solid, you know, that's usually a solar plexus thing because that's your meat energy.
Gotcha. Cool. Rick is going to check out your YouTube channel. We'll probably, maybe we'll even visit that next week.
That'd be fun.
Bring up some of those visits. J-Lo is saying thank you.
J-Lo, love you.
And I am saying thank you, Brian. Amazing. You are certainly taking me on an amazing journey. You already were. The minute we met, I think I started on that journey, and it's just only becoming clear now.
Well, we'll see if we'll. Yeah, that won't stay clear for long, so enjoy it while.
Celestial is thanking you. I really appreciate that. Jilly is saying thank you as well.
I love Jilly, man. She's I
just love to bring it up. Gratitude is everything, right? So we might as well celebrate this gratitude with each other. You know, thank you.
You're welcome, Laylee.
Yeah, totally.
Thanks for coming and sharing with us. Yeah.
Amazing. So what's up next week? What comes after the Emperor? We start getting into the families, huh?
We're gonna get into the lovers. No, we're gonna get into the lovers. We're gonna get into the Hierophant. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself.
Okay.
And the Hierophant is he's, you know, the Emperor is like the big edict in charge, and the Hierophant are all the worker like systems that make those things happen. Awesome. So like religious structures, governmental structures, that kind of thing.
Cool.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. That's kind of like not my most favorite card, so I'll have some other stuff too, because I don't like structures.
Very, very cool. So I'm just gonna say before we leave, if you are just coming across this or the replay, please give us a comment. Tell us what you think of what we're doing. Subscribe to the channel. Let's
please buy a deck. Seriously, yeah. Please buy a deck.
That's right. You don't have to have one to be a part of this club, but it certainly feels good, and you get to hold it up and you get to touch them. And
it'd be really great to support your local wizard. So there you go.
And it would be great to support your local wizard. Well, I support you, Brian. I love you. Thank you so much for doing this with me, and giving everybody your energy. Stephen Molufsky had a good time. He says interesting. So that's awesome. And
awesome.
And another, just one more endorsement of the deck. The deck is amazing. So
thanks, Shayla.
There you go. All right, folks.
See you next week, man.
You did it. Yeah, man. We'll see you next week. Thanks for being here. Peace.